Alright guys, we're going to take on section 3.3 in our college prep math class, and we're going to handle writing linear equations from use of tables, points, and graphs. So we're going to start out here with problem number 1 here. Write an equation in slope-intercept form with a line represented by the data in the table. So we got our x values and our y values. Again, don't get confused with the f of x. Again, that's just our y value, our x's, okay? So first off, since we have these points here, let's go ahead and find our slope. So hopefully you remember that your slope is going to be y2 minus y1 or x2 minus x1. Now, it doesn't matter which 2 points you pick, but the ones I'm going to use are the farthest apart. So I'm going to use 2 and 7. And I'm going to use 8 and 13. So with this, 2 and 7, so I'm going to x1, my y1, 8 and 13, x2, y2. So for this first slope we're going to find out. Let's do this. So y2 is 13 minus 7 all over x2, which is our 8, minus 2. So top we should get, let's see what we get, 13 minus 7 should give me 6. And then we got 8 minus 2, which is giving me 6. So I should get 6 over 6 is 1. So we know our slope is notated by the letter M is 1. Alright, so what is the equation for our slope-intercept form? You guys should remember it's y equals mx plus b. So we've got our slope. We just found out that's 1. What about our b value, our y-intercept? Well, with that, we know our slope already, and we can take any one of these x, y values. I'm just going to use 2 and 7 and see what we come up with. So for this equation, again, you have y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to use this point right here. So my y value is a 7. My slope is 1. My x is 2. And plus b. So let's solve for b. So we have 7 equals 2 plus b, because 1 times 2 is just 2. And let's subtract 2 from both sides. 2's go away here. I'm going to bring this over here so it's not so sideways on you. So we should be left with 7 minus 2 should give me 5. And we're left with just a b on the other side. So now I know my slope is 1 and my y-intercept is 5. So the overall equation that you should come up with right for this is y equals 1 x plus 5. And that is your answer for the linear equation for point. Let's try a different one. So now, if we just have 2 points, and we want to do this, again, it's the same thing. We're going to find our slope, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then our equation is y equals mx plus b. So let's do this with these 2 points. We know that we have x1, y1, x2, y2. So for our slope, we have 1 minus a -4 over -3 minus 2. So top minus a negative value is to make a positive, so it's 1 plus 4 over -3 minus 2. So 1 plus 4 gives me 5. And negative 3 minus 2. So if I'm $3 in the hole and I lose $2 more, I'm still negative 5 in the hole. So 5 over 5 is 1. However, there's a negative there. So our slope is a negative 1. So now that we know that, we can use either one of these points to determine our y-intercept, our b value. Let's use 2 and 4. We're going to use this point right there, and we're going to say our y equals mx plus b. We're going to say our y value is negative 4 equals our slope, which is negative 1. Our x value that we have in that point was 2, and plus b. So we should get negative 4 equals negative 2 plus b. And then I'm going to add 2 to both sides to solve for b. I'm going to do that. 2's go away over here. And if you have negative 4 plus 2, again, the 4 is your bigger number and it's negative, so we know we're going to have a negative value. And think of it, we got negative 4, so you're $4 in the hole. Somebody gives you 2, so how many in the hole still? You're still missing $2. So you have negative 2 equals b. So b value equals negative 2. Then you must write out your equation. So your equation is y equals your slope, negative 1 times x. And you can write plus negative 2, but because there's a negative there, I'm going to write minus 2. And you could also write this as just simply saying y equals negative x minus 2. Either one of those is correct. Some people like to put the negative 1, some people just like to put the negative in front. Either way is acceptable. Alright, let's try this third example. So now we just have a graph. We need to figure out what we got here. So we need to pick a couple points to determine the actual slope. So it looks like I'm going to take where it crosses the y-axis right here at 5, 0, 5. So I'm going to take this point. Let's see if I can make a point big enough there so you can see what I'm talking about right there. So our blue point is 0, so on the x is 0, and our y is 5. And then I'm going to take this part where it crosses the x-axis at 3, 0. So it over 3, and 0 on your y-axis. Alright. So again, we could take this as x1, y1, x2, y2. So let's find our slope. Again, slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 0 minus y1, which is 5. Then on the bottom, x2 is a 3 minus x1, which is 0. So you should get negative 5 on top divided by 3. So our slope is negative 5 over 3. Now let's find out what our y-intercept is going to be. And I'm going to take y equals mx plus b. Choose a different color. Alright. So the y, let's use 3 and 0. Let's use this one. Let's use this point. So y is 0. And we have our slope is negative 5 over 3 times our x value of 3 plus b. Hopefully you see that having this 3 here is like having 3 over 1. So in other words, we multiply these together, these 3's can cancel out. So this 3 can go into this 3, and we're left with negative 5 over 1. So we have 0 equals negative 5 plus b. And if we add 5 to both sides, you see these 5's cancel out on the right, and 0 plus 5 is 5, and you're left with a b. So our y-intercept is 5. Again, are you done? No, you need to write out the equation. You should get y equals negative 5 over 3 x plus 5. All right, so you use that every time, right? For your slope, it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then your your slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And you take one of the points and you plug it in if you already found your slope, and you can find your y-intercept every time. All right, guys, hope you learned a little something today, and I'll see you next time.